welcome to Brown Girls Can, the podcast where black and brown brilliance meets real talk. This podcast is your safe space to be seen, heard, and of course, celebrated. I'm your host, Shateria, the founder and visionary behind the Brown Girls Can brand and movement. Every podcast episode, we're gonna laugh loud and dive deep into the stories, careers, and bold dreams of women who are redefining what's possible. Let's get into today's episode. All right. I have a special guest with me today. Tell the people who you are.
I am Terrie Corbin, Shateria Smith's grandmother.
Yeah, y'all clap it up for my granny. My granny is here. She joined me for this episode of Brown Girls Can, the podcast. And this episode, we are talking about leaving a legacy. So since I am your namesake, I wanted you to come on and just have a conversation with me about how I was as a little girl. And since I can't interview my mom, my grandmother raised me, so I want her to just give insight about like what my mom would have been thinking, what she may have been warning me about or not warning me about. So we're going to get into that, but I do sip on this podcast, so I just learned today on the ride here that she does drink wine. I didn't know that.
Yes, Morgan David, great wine.
Morgan David is not no wine. That's liquor.
Mm-mm.
Morgan David,
great wine.
Oh, if you say so. Well, what's the one Uncle Mo? Oh, what I'm thinking about? Yeah. No, that's Mad Dog.
Mm-hmm. No, not Mad Dog. Morgan David, great wine.
Well, I didn't know that, and so I asked her yesterday what she wanted to drink, because I said, well, I know you don't drink wine, and you said just get grape juice. So we have grape juice in our Brown Girls Can wine glasses. So you come on, we got a cheers.
Oh.
Ooh, she messing up the set. Cheers. Let's see. Okay, say something so I make sure your mic is good.
Okay.
So let's talk about how did you feel when my mom said she was naming me Shateria?
I was honored that she loved me that much and thought enough of me to want to name her firstborn child, only child, after me.
Yes. And I was the first grandchild.
Yes.
So I am, anytime I start dating somebody and they be like, are you the only child? I say, yes, I'm the first girl, the only child. I was the first on both sides, first daughter, granddaughter. And I be like, they say, oh, that must mean you spoiled. When I say I'm the only child, and I say, yes, I never deny that I am spoiled, because this lady, along with my mom and my dad, all of my family has spoiled me. And it runs still to this day. I am still spoiled. I still like what I like. I still want what I want. But I get some of that from you. I've seen you be like, that's what I want. And so she just go and she gets what she wants. So tell the people a little bit about you. You are the youngest of
10.
10. The baby of 10. And so we just talked about this on the ride here. There are, 5 left living. Mm-hmm. There is Aunt Sandra, Aunt Neil, Uncle Buddy, Aunt Linda, and you. And my grandmother is turning
73.
73. Woo! We have long life in our genes. My great grandmother, my grandma B, who was buried next to my mom, well, a plot. She's close to my mom. There's somebody in the middle of them, but um, she lived to be what
2.
92. And so if my grandmother is the baby of 5 left and she's turning 73, you do the math. I think the oldest is what
6.
86. So I am so glad to be. And anytime, can you attest to this? Anytime y'all are together, I'm always doing what? I'm always saying, whenever y'all together,
Let's take pictures.
let's take pictures. I am the picture taker in the family, especially, well, I won't say in the immediate family. Even when we all get together, I'm always like, let's take a picture because you just never know when the last time, will be. And I also think that my parents passing away, I don't have a lot of pictures. I mean, of course, at the time, you take pictures and it's just life. But if we had known that she would have passed away, we would have probably took way more pictures. So that's why I'm always like, let's take a picture. My Aunt Linda, baby, she be like, my family calls me Pookie, and we'll get into that too. But she be like, Pookie, don't come up here with that camera. And I be like, Aunt Linda, I am not thinking about you talking about you don't want to take a picture because these are memories that we want to have and we want to keep. How did I get the nickname Pookie?
That was for me.
Mm-hmm.
When your mom was pregnant, she would like go to the hospital, like false labor, thinking it was time and it wasn't time. And I was like, I'd be so glad when that little Pookie get here. And so it stuck. So everybody calls you, I call you my little Pookie, and everybody calls you Pookie. And when she was born, she had the cutest little dimples. The nurse said, "Oh, look, she has dimples." Okay. I forget.
Did you cut it on silent so it don't ring them up? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the nurse said,
She was just like, "Oh, look at her. She has 2 little dimples, cutest little things." And they were just really, really deep for a baby. And she still got them. They just not as deep as they were.
okay, so I got my nickname. What do you think my mama? Well, how was my mom as a young mother?
A very protective, uh, very protective. She always, wanted the best for you. Um, I remember she was like, "I'm gonna put her down here in this daycare, Rainbow," and I was like, "Rainbow? I never heard of that before." But Miss Marsha Hayes, her daycare. And she put her in. She was always there whenever something was going on. And little Pookie graduated valedictorian of kindergarten.
Boom. Sure did. I remember that day. It'd be crazy to think like when people be like, I remember that like it was yesterday. And you really do remember. Like I remember getting up. I remember us practicing because we practiced our graduation. We had a graduation, a ceremony. We marched in. My cousin, my first cousin, who's like my brother, he did the Pledge of Allegiance. And I did something. I don't know if I said a speech.
I'm not really sure. I can't remember.
I can't remember either, but I do remember I had on yellow and my cousin had on white. I had a crochet bob. Girl, I was cute. Um, but yeah, so that speaks to like I always have been academically, you know, I've always excelled in school when I apply myself. Um, so you said my mom was she was protective.
Mm-hmm.
What do you miss most about my mama?
Mm. Her kindness, her loving smile. She would always make sure that mom was okay. She would get on her sister and brothers. Uh, I remember one time, I don't know if it was Christmas or my birthday or whatever, and they were like, you know, they didn't have any money, and she was like, "You gonna find something from somewhere, because we gonna get this for Mama." She was always giving, uh, and just her personality. She was like what she. It didn't matter what anybody thought, and I got that from her. She would change her hair color in a blink of an eye. One minute you see her, she was blonde. The next minute she was platinum. The next minute she was red.
Did she get that from you though? Or you said you got that from her?
I got
Where
that
did she
from
get it
her.
from?
I don't know. I mean, she was just somebody who always wanted to try something different.
Mm-hmm.
Something. No, I got that from her. She was the one that had all the hair color changes, and then I followed.
Where did grandmama get that from though? She always had blue hair.
Well, it wasn't blue per se. It was black when she was younger. As she got older, it was silver. And the lady who did her hair would put a blue rinse on
Oh.
top of the silver.
So did she
So,
ask for it?
yeah.
What made her was her favorite color blue?
I don't know that.
I'm just wondering why she picked blue.
Because I think it made the silver
Pop.
hmm
Mm. What do you think? Every time I hear people, okay, so my mom passed away. Ooh, it's been over 20 years now. When I was 11, turning 12, she passed on my dad's birthday, which was almost like 2 weeks before her birthday. Um, Anytime people see me, they're like, "Oh, you look just like your mama. You shine all over." And they be like, "I just remember." I hear so many stories about she gave them a ride, or she took them something to eat, or she, you know, went out of her way to make sure somebody had some clothes. Or I hear her legacy almost all the time when people hear her name. What do you hope your legacy will be? And even not even a morbid kind of discussion or talking about death, because I think about it when I'm like, I'm gonna leave Chattanooga, and I wonder when people look up and they be like, "Dang, Shateria, she used to be here, and she would blank, blank, blank," or I just remember her being here. What do you hope you leave a legacy of?
Just that my children and my grandchildren and great grandbabies just always love. Just always be kind. Always, love people. Um you couldn't ask for any more than that.
Just love.
Hmm.
What do you think my mom would be saying to me today?
How proud she is of you. Very, very proud. Um and I think she also would be saying to you also, follow your dream. Whatever. Now I had a problem with you moving across country. Oh, and of course, only because
You love me.
yes, I love you, but because you, um, would be by yourself. But I remember uh, when I used to go to the church, World Church of Living God, and Pastor Hunter was alive. And I remember asking God to keep you always under his wing and keep you safe. And I remember he told me to be still. He got this. So
Pastor Hunter said that, or God said that.
God said that. Pastor Hunter told me after I had asked God to do that. I remember that Sunday, Pastor Hunter told me to stand up, and he told me, just be still.
And she has stood still, sure footed in the will of God and the prayers. And even to this day, sometimes I'll be like, I know my granny, she over there, she don't know this, but I'll be struggling or feeling some type of way, and she'll send me a message and say, "Hey, little Pookie, I'm just thinking about you." So she always feels me. So I'm grateful for that. What do you think my dad would have said? I was younger when my dad passed away. I was 5, turning 6, and he died. You know what? I need to check what date, because I know he died in June. It was the summertime. But anyways, for those of you that don't know, both of my parents have transitioned, and so I sometimes feel them too. Like, I know people be like, spirits once you die, da, 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 but sometimes I'll be like, I know that was my mom, or I know that was my daddy, or I'll be thinking about them, and then something will happen that reminds me of them. Or the other day I was thinking about my mom, and this lady came up to me in the store, and she was like, "What's your name?" And I was like, "Shateria." And she was like, what's your people name?" And I said, because my mom has passed, I don't lead with my mom's name because she's, no longer here. So I always be like, my family are Swifts and Corbins. And she was like, "Your mama name was Tanya. She went to Howard, didn't she?" And I said, "Yeah." She said, "That girl could sing." And she started talking about, all the stuff my mom used to do or whatever. And then I get in the car and hear Anita Baker, which is one of my mama's favorite artists. And so she used to listen to Anita Baker all the time. So I know that they send me like little, I'm with you, da da da. But I didn't get as much time with my dad, on Earth. So how was he as a dad? How was he just in general?
He was a nice guy. Um, he was crazy about you, of course. Uh, and I think he really loved your mom. Um, I didn't, know that much either about him, uh, except that, like I said, the times when he would come around, he was always nice, and he was always talking about you and what he was leaving you. We never found it, but he claimed.
And I be searching. I still to this day, when our bills be due, I be like, "Daddy, what did you leave? Did you leave me some money? Where is it at? Because I need it. Even all these years later, please send it." That's so funny, because I do remember him. I remember the house on Blanchard, and we was in the kitchen, and it was nighttime. And I don't know if he was coming or going, but I don't know if he had dropped me off or what, but he was ranting and raving about whatever was in the briefcase, and this is gonna make Bug a lot of money, and some. And so I'm like, well, send the briefcase back. I need it. Uh, do you remember any? Well, what? So we talked about my mom. What do you remember most about your mom? Like, what? legacy did she leave? Grandmama was a firecracker. That's the legacy I remember. She didn't take no mess, and she believed in family sticking together and not fighting. I do remember that. She wanted all the family to be together. We would have family reunions, every year?
Not every year, but maybe like every 2 to 3 years.
I know they was frequent.
And then we would always try to get together and do something on a birthday. She'd have like, the birthday outings and cookouts and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What do you remember most about her?
She was just sweet. She was just as sweet as she could be. Stood 4 feet tall, and like you say, she didn't take no mess.
Mm-mm.
She believed in spanking. She said, that's what God put that little fat part back there for. It ain't gonna hurt you, and it ain't gonna kill you, but it's gonna keep you out of a lot of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just, like I said, I just miss her little cute self. And yes, she was the type that didn't hold her tongue. She would say whatever she thought. I remember one time I had her to the doctor. And I would always, on the way back, ask her, did she want something to eat? We'd stop and get her a sandwich or something because she didn't eat much. And then I would always ask her if she had any money. And she'd look in her pocketbook. She said, I'm broker than the fiddler's bitch. So I gave her, $100, and she was like, well, now, at least you can eat. She was just so funny. She just tickled you.
Yes, and she was so country. She was so country. She used to come out on that porch when we would go see her, and then she would come out on the porch, follow us out. When we said, well, we going to get up out of here. We going to go on and go. She'll follow us out. And, well, where y'all going? Where y'all finna go? So she was, our little country grandmama who she collected salt and pepper shakers. Mm-hmm. She collected them from everywhere. And when she passed, she probably had over...
She had 4 book
curio
cabinets of salt and pepper shakers.
And they were not just your regular salt and pepper shakers. These were like a left and right high heel, cheeseburger, and ketchup, like those kind where it's like the cute little sets. Mm-hmm. So anytime I see those, I always think of her too. Like, grandmama, she would have wanted them. Mm-hmm. So going back to my dad, you said you didn't know much about him. He was a nice guy. Do you remember how they met? Did my mama tell you anything? I'm trying to get my questions answered.
No, I don't know how they met. I really don't. I couldn't ask for any more. So I'm proud of, all of them.
And I think about my uncle. He's quiet and he is to himself, but I always, and I never told him this, but I always think that I had never thought about the relationship him and my mom shared, because his oldest, which was my cousin Kiana, my mama had her all the time. Mm-hmm. Like, people thought that was her baby. And then they had Cameron, and Cameron's middle name was after my mom. And then they had Keyshawn, which is also after my mom. So for him to name 2 of his 3 children after my mom, it just made me be like, that was like a very honorable and very like touching thing, because I can't say that if I had a child, I would name her after. It definitely not 2 of them, but I don't know. But that speaks to like their relationship, or like what she meant to him, and I always, because he's quiet, you never kind of think about that. Well, at least I didn't. I just thought about it like not too long ago. But I'm like, dang, he really named 2 of his 3 kids after my mama. Like, she had to be pretty special to him, and mean something for him to do that. And then also to my aunt Javonda, like, she birthed the kids. It was his sister, not she wasn't related by blood to my mom, but to be able to allow him to, I won't say allow him to agree to let him, name 2 of his kids after my mom. I just think that that's really special, and it speaks to their relationship. And like I said, he's very quiet, so you would never know. I don't even think I'd ever seen Uncle Turtle cry. I don't think I seen Auntie Kiba cry, actually. Well, no, that's a lie. I did.
Yeah, now, Turtle, well, I call him Turtle. His name is Roger. I don't think I have either. But Kiva, yes.
Yeah. What is your favorite thing to cook? Well, let me go back. When you were a teenager, what did you want to do when you grew up? Like, what was your dream? Like, my dream is to do this, like produce TV shows and, help women bring out who they really are and help empower them. What was your dream?
I wanted to go in service. For some reason, I don't know why, but I always wanted to go in the Air Force.
What? And do you like planes?
I fly on them.
But do you like? I mean, I never knew that. Mm-hmm. You wanted to go in the Air Force. Well, what stopped you? You had children?
Yes. That stopped it.
Oh my goodness! I never knew that. Why the Air Force?
It was just a branch that I thought I'd like. I didn't want to be a Marine. Didn't want to be in the Army. Because I always thought that those were like more manly.
More masculine.
Yes. So I didn't want to be in the Navy because I don't like a lot of water.
Well, if you fly, you over it.
Okay, but I fly on planes. So I just wanted to go in the Air Force.
And so okay, that's so interesting, in the Air Force. Huh. Okay, so you became a mom, got married. How did you end up? Because my grandmama when I say cook, I'm trying to. She gave me some recipes, and I'm gonna turn them into. We had started working on it, but I'm gonna do that. I said I was gonna do it for your birthday and surprise you, but she can cook, and I think sometimes that's where I get it from, and I cannot cook short recipe. Like, I can't cook small batches, and I get that from her. Like, it's like, who are you cooking for? You making a big pan of macaroni, and it's just you. That's where I get it from. So when did do you like cooking?
Not as much now as I did.
Did you like it when did you start cooking?
I used to I started cooking after I got married. Mm-hmm. But, and I always cooked more than I needed because I always felt like if somebody came over, I'd have enough to share. Mm-hmm. So one thing about me is I always said if I don't have anything else, and I have food, I can feed someone.
Mm-hmm. So did you said you used to like it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I used to love cooking. it wasn't a big deal. It was just getting in the kitchen and whatever the ingredients called for, just whip it up throw it together, stick it in the oven.
What's your favorite dish? What over all the years? What's your favorite meal?
I say collard greens, sweet yams, mac and cheese, and now I like baked chicken. I used to love fried chicken. I still eat fried chicken, but if I had a meal like that, I would want baked chicken.
Hmm. I just made that the other day.
Oh,
Not the other day, but maybe 2 Sundays ago. I made some soul food.
And then you know I love me some fried white corn.
Listen, I have hopefully when we get the cookbook together, she will cook it. But this the thing about grandmamas. She don't measure. She just be pouring. And it's hard to follow a recipe like that when you don't have like precise measurements. So hopefully I don't know how we would do that, figure out what you pouring in there because she always be like, this is about a cup and a half. What is it? Because mine did not turn out right. So I'm like, I don't know if I'm putting it in too early, putting it in too late, mixing it in when it ain't supposed to be right here. So, but that's probably my most requested dish from Granny is fried white corn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of what else that I be asking for. But I think that's the main one because I can't make it because she don't have ingredients, or a recipe. Let me see. I do want to ask this. So we talked about this before. On your birthday, you said you just want to go to dinner.
Yes.
You don't want nothing. I'm going to use this footage.
What do you mean want nothing? I didn't say I didn't want anything. I said I want to go to dinner.
Uh-huh.
And then just get the gifts.
What's the gifts?
Oh, you know what I said. I like
Money.
MONEY.
What do you be doing, money?
What do you mean? What I do? What I spend it?
You be
What-
at home. You
what
spend
is
it on
for?
Amazon
I do shop on them.
and I was gonna say Jameson, JC Penney's,
No, Cato's.
Kato's. What my granny used to love shopping. She still loves shopping. What do you remember most about the malls? Because they changing. We living in a society now where everything's online. The malls really are dying, like physical malls, unless you go to like an outlet mall or something like that where it's a tourist, attraction. But that's one of my fondest memories is my mama be like, we going to see Granny. And then Granny be like, well, let's run over to Hamilton Place. And I say, like, yes.
It's not the same anymore.
Mm-mm.
It used to be where, they had all the stores in there that you like to go in and shop.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't even know those stores in there anymore. We go in there. Sometimes me and my friend will go out to lunch, and she'll say, "You want to run by the mall?" And we go in there, and we be like, "What is that? Where that come from?" Because you don't even recognize those stores, and a lot of it is like for young people. What we call the hoochie mama stuff.
What's in there that's hoochie mama?
All the little short skirts and
Oh, you talking about the type of clothes? I thought you meant like the actual store.
oh no. Well, I'm saying the stores. That's what they have. Those little clothes for. Well, I won't say. I say maybe teenagers or
Younger people.
yeah.
Yes, she used to love. We used to go to J.C. Penney's. What was the one with the P? The name. Just name them.
It was Sears.
That wasn't it. It was a P name. Uh, Parisian and Profit.
Oh yeah.
Are
Well,
you,
I think they still have profit.
well,
Oh, they don't.
no.
Well, I ain't been to them.
We got Dillard's. We have Dillard's. We don't have Sears anymore. I'm trying to think of stores that where I think Dillard's and JC Penney.
It's the only.
It's the only ones that was when I was little, like when Mama was alive. Um, Now one store that I want them to bring back, Goodies.
Yeah,
I love me some Goodies.
I
You could
remember
find
that. Mhm.
anything in Goodies, whether you was going dress up
Mhm.
or you was going somewhere casual. My aunt, she loved Goodies too. She had duck head. Was it duck head? The one with the little duck emblem.
Mhm.
They sold that brand in there exclusively. So she used to stay shopping in there, but now she Lane Bryant and what's the other one? Torrid.
Mhm.
She loved them. So, um, what is something that you want me to always remember and know?
What I tell you all the time: know your worth. Don't settle for just anything. You are a very beautiful black young lady. I want you to find someone as a mate. He doesn't have to be perfect because it's no perfect mate, but somebody who will just treat you good and treat you right. Sometimes that person is the person you never think of. Sometimes that person can be right there in your face, but you don't give them a chance.
Mm.
It's not about the looks. Some of the men that is not so good looking or the best men that you will find.
Mm. But I don't want them to be ugly.
What do you consider ugly?
I'm just saying. I feel like if I'm gonna be with the person, I want to be attracted to them. You don't think so?
I mean, sure, I want you to be attracted to them, but like I said, they don't have to look like a weightlifter or muscle builder or whatever you call them.
So they can be skinny. That's what you're saying.
They could even be heavy, as long as it's a good person with a good heart. And if they love Jesus, they'll love you.
You heard it here first. Any So I just cannot believe you said the Air Force. So did it ever change? Like, okay, well, I know I'm not going to the Air Force. Now my dream is to.
Be the best mother that I could be, the best wife that I could be.
Did you ever want to move?
No, I told you I never um had the desire to leave where I was born, from. I was, content just being right here. So no, I didn't never want to move out of town or now I like to go visit other places, but I never had the where I said, I want to move to Texas or I want to move to Florida. Mm-mm.
So you just like Chattanooga?
Well, I mean, it's not that I, like it that much. It's just what I was used to and familiar with.
Mm.
So,
What about school? Like after school, did you never want to like go off to college?
I no, I never really thought about that. Uh, I did okay in school, but I was not a top scholar.
Mm-hmm.
So
So school wasn't it?
no, not going on to college or uh, at one time I thought I wanted to be a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
I did take a nurse's aid class and training, and I passed that. But then when I seen what all you had to do to become a nurse, I was like, I don't think I want to do that.
But you worked at healthcare. You
Right,
worked at life care for a long time.
right. But I just didn't think that that's what I, wanted to do. I hate to see people hurt or hurting because I know what it's like. And it's not that I was afraid of blood or anything like that, but I just felt like that was not what I wanted to do. So, mm-mm.
Um, any last words? See, we did good.
My last words are just to tell you how very proud I am of you, how I know your mom is smiling and your dad. Continue to do what you do. Continue to ask God to keep you under His grace and mercy and under His wings and protecting you. And like I said, I know I can't stop you. So,
Like, let me give a blessing.
so if you feel like, that's what you need to do or that's what you want to do, then, like I said, I give you my blessing and hope that all will be well with you. And I love you.
And I love you too. And I have something for you.
Oh, thank
Her
you.
favorite color is purple. And so I wanted to make sure that this episode is not only about learning what leaving a legacy means, but that you understand and know that as one of your grandchildren, and we didn't talk about this, but she is going through a health situation. And so, um, you know, I know that that's hard. I know that as your body changes and, you're used to being gone and out and doing, this and that. And that has an effect on your life, what you're able to do and not do. So I just want you to stay encouraged and know that we love you. I love you. I know sometimes I be in my own world, but this is the kind of thing that my brain be like, I got to do this so that I can help, you know. So I don't ever want you to think that I'm not thinking about you or that I don't love you. I'm going to do better, especially because I know that I'm gonna. Whoo, I'm about to cry. I know that I'm gonna leave Chattanooga, and I know that she is one of the reasons why I haven't left. It's because I have that from my mama. Like I want to make sure my granny's okay. So Um, I have a shirt on that says, "She is proof that I can," and um, she's been proof that I can do whatever I want to do because she has made a great life. Um, it hasn't been perfect, like she said. It hasn't been all roses, but she has done an amazing job with what she has been dealt. And so, ooh, I almost made it. Dang. But she's done an amazing job. I wanted to thank you. I wanted to give her flowers. I always try to make it a point to show my appreciation. We do, frequent outings. I just pick her up and say, "Let's go do something." She's done. What's your favorite thing we've done? One of our things. She went viral. I'll have to insert this clip. What you doing?
Because I want to kind of
Oh yeah, that's
in
pretty.
the lime green, but she said it'd be 50.
I took my niece. Well, I'm an only child, but because my first cousin and I are so close in age, we call each other brother and sister. And so his kids call me Tati. They call me their auntie. And so we had a girls' day. I took my niece Brayley. I took my aunt, Granny, and myself. We went to the nail place. And me and Brayley were sitting getting our feet done. And my auntie Kiva was getting her hands, and my granny was somewhere else getting her hands. So everybody just chilling, relaxing. And here come my granny walking up, talking about some. I just wanted to see if I could get this because it costs. How much was it?
$60.
It cost $60, and I said, let me go ask her for permission. I was like, yes, go on and get your nails done if that's what you want. I know that God is allowing me to make money and to be I do believe that I'm going to be a millionaire. He's allowing me to use my skills and my talents to become the first millionaire or multimillionaire in our family. So when they be like, "Oh, I need this," or "Oh, I want that," I'm like, "Okay, there's nothing," and I'll pay for it or whatever. So that was one of those days where I'm just like, I got an extra check or whatever. You know, let's just go have fun. So it was so funny to see her come in there to my son. I just wanted to ask, is this okay? She said it was $60, and I was like, yes. But I posted that clip, and she went viral on TikTok. Everybody was like, "Honey, Granny had to make sure." She was like, she wasn't paying for it, so she had to come ask you. So, what's been your favorite outing that we've done? We did the note card thing. We did the scavenger hunt.
Mm-hmm.
Just random stuff.
Uh, well, all of it actually, to me, means a lot. Going out to lunch, uh, going to the nail shop. Uh, I enjoyed it when we went to, was that Gatlinburg?
Mm-hmm.
When we went to Gatlinburg and all of us, was together and all the girls was in the room together. I just enjoy the time, spent with y'all. Uh, we just, have a good time. I just like all of it. So it's not just one thing, it's everything that I enjoy.
And lastly, to anybody out there wanting to leave a legacy, what would your advice be? Wanting to leave a good legacy.
Just, I was always taught that your name carries a legacy, and you always want to have a good name. Where if somebody says, like they do about your mom, or they say, "Did you know you know, Miss Terrie or whatever. And they was like, oh, yeah, she was so sweet. She was so kind. She was such a loving person. Just a good name. If you can leave a good name, you left a good legacy.
Well, there you have it, from my granny to you. That is how you leave a legacy. Thank you for watching this episode of Brown Girls Can, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for vibing with us on Brown Girls Can, the podcast. If you felt this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with your girl gang. You can catch us on social media on Instagram at Brown Girls Can, the podcast, and on Facebook at Brown Girls Can. And remember, you are already everything you are becoming. So until next time, keep showing up, glowing up, and choosing you. Always remember that you can do anything.